Alright guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we are covering the AMG because we do have hopefully not super serious but a pretty serious issue with the car, and this all started yesterday. I was actually on my way to the dealership where I bought the car, completely unrelated to this car. I wasn't planning on really filming anything. I just wanted to see if they had any new nice models out there, like a G-Wagon, because I haven't really seen that in person yet. So this dealership is located in a place called Wexford outside of Pittsburgh. It's about 20 miles from my house. So, you know, it's pretty much highway the whole way. And then when I get into that actual area and I have to like stop for red lights and stop signs and stuff like that, I start hearing this sound, and it's kind of like a mix of a vacuum cleaner, like a fan sound, and I'm not really understanding where it's coming from. So I'm like rolling down my windows thinking it's maybe there's a big truck around or construction or something like that, and it's not coming from outside. Roll my windows up again. So it's basically the fan from inside the engine bay of the car, but I'm not used to hearing it that loud. So I'm kind of confused, and about a couple minutes later I pull into the dealership and this is what I see. So at transmission temperature at the time was 233, and I've never seen it that high. So you know, coincidentally, when this is happening, I'm pulling into the dealership. So I go down and talk to the service department and kind of let them know that this is what I'm seeing, and I've never seen it that high. Do you guys have time right now to take a look at the car? And they were completely swamped at the time. And I mean, I understand, I'm just, you know, dropping in. So what they told me was, you know, come back tomorrow, drop it off in the morning, and we'll you know, have it for the day and take a look at it. So I get in the car and drive home, and during the drive home, transmission temperature keeps going up. Yeah, as soon as I come to a stop at a red light, I hear that humming sound. Shifts aren't sloppier though, at least not yet. Downshifts are quick. So I think something's up with one of my radiators or intercooler, or there's a crack or a leak or something. And transmission temperature keeps going up from when it was shut off for a while here. I just left the dealership again. You hear that humming sound, like a loud fan noise or something like that. Transmission temperature keeps going up, but I think that might be because we've been in a lot of stop and go traffic, a lot of red lights until I get out on the highway here. So it'll be C249. It'll be interesting to see if that temperature drops at all while we're cruising on the highway here. So, but definitely not normal. This is way higher than I've ever seen, and it never used to. Ooh, 251. Yeah, it's see, not good. This needs taken care of. Alright, so we've been driving here on the highway for about 10-15 minutes. Transmission temperature, like I expected, has actually gone down a little bit, just a couple degrees, so it's 246. That's because we haven't been shifting. We've just been cruising along on the highway. Now, since it's extremely wet outside today, it's been raining all day, I haven't really been pushing the car, so I can't tell if I've lost any, you know, power, or it feels like I've lost power. So we're just gonna drive home, and I'm sure as soon as I park it in the garage, you know, and it's still and quiet, I'm sure you're gonna be able to hear that humming slash vacuuming fan sound. That is very, very loud. All right, so I'm just getting home now, and it's at 2:58. Yeah, that is way too high, way too high. All right, so before I move my wife's truck here, I'm gonna hop out. I know you guys can hear this now. On these AMGs, there's always a fan that's running like right after you shut the car off, but yeah, it's just way too loud. I mean, I don't see
specific really big issue. I mean, every radiator and intercooler, whatever, is going to have like some scrap here and there. That's just how it is. All right, so the car's parked in the garage, cooling down. And I guess, unless you have a car just like this, I guess you can't really relate to this fan noise being way too loud, but it is. I don't even know if you guys can hear me, but yeah. So we're just going to continue this video tomorrow when I drive it back to the dealership and drop it off. When I drive it there, I'm going to drive it in automatic mode, in comfort mode, if that even makes any kind of difference. Maybe it shifts smoother, I don't know. Try to keep that transmission temperature down until we get back to the shop. But yeah, we'll continue this video tomorrow.
So this is where we are now. This is the next day, and mind you, yesterday when I was driving, I mean, it was around 40-41 degrees, so it wasn't a super hot day either. Today it's about 29 degrees and it is once again snowing. So what we're going to do is jump in the car. I'm going to drive it to the dealership. Like I said earlier, I'm going to drive it in automatic mode, in comfort, not shift manually, and we're just going to see what the transmission temperature goes up to during our drive to the dealership. Alright, so here we are, driving in this snow flurry on our way to the dealership. We haven't really reached proper operating temperatures yet. Usually when oil temperature hits 157 or 8 or something like that, it's considered warm. And then when transmission hits, here we go, when transmission hits 122, that's considered warm as well in the car. Now what I probably should add is the transmission temperatures that I'm used to on this car are right around the 200-ish mark. Right under or just right over. I've never seen it over, you know, I don't know, 205, 210, because I haven't really focused in on it that much. It was just yesterday was the first time I noticed that this was going on. So now transmission is at 122, and as soon as we get off the highway here and it's a more stop and go traffic, I'm sure that's going to go up, even though we're in automatic and I'm not shifting on my own here. So yeah. Alright, so here we are, we're just pulling in here, and 176 we've reached, which is not anything bad at all. So I guess that's a good sign, but what happened yesterday, I know for a fact is not normal, and you know, I never drive this car in automatic. It's always in manual mode, so I shift by myself. So we're going to drop it off here. I'm going to pick up a loaner, and then they're going to have to look at it and see what's up with it. By the way, we're going to pop the hood. Yeah, no fan noise today. Yesterday was a huge difference. Completely quiet. Looks like absolute shit though, with all the snow.
Where my pen's pointing, that tube going straight across, that mark in it right there.
Hard to catch that on camera, but a tiny little hole.
I could put a, I have a pressure tester over there still. Did you want to see it?
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
All right, so I'm back at the dealership here, and I found out what's wrong with the car. It is the radiator. It is leaking coolant. So they're going to do a pressure test and show me how the coolant was actually coming out here, which is obviously not something that I saw in the beginning. They did a pressure test themselves and saw that that's where it was coming from. So we're going to need a new radiator.
Beth, you get ready to pick us up?
Yeah, there we go. Right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
You got a light?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Now look at that, man.
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's not good, but good
Well,
footage.
it's not good, but you got
And that sucks.
So when you came in, the complaint was a transmission over temperature or perceived over temperature.
Correct.
I ran a quick test, which is an interrogation of all the control units in the car.
Right.
And there was a current fault code in the powertrain control unit for the coolant circulation pump in the low temperature coolant circuit.
Okay.
And when I went to do the test on that pump, it failed. It was a current consumption test and it failed, but it didn't say why, and it said to check the status of the pump in the actual value screen. So when I went in there, it indicated that the pump was running at 35% and it didn't indicate any problems. I checked the reservoir for the low temperature cooling circuit and it appeared to be low. So I topped it off and I noticed it was continuing to drop. So I thought maybe there was an air pocket in it. I continued to add some coolant. Lo and behold, there's coolant on the floor. And I picked it up, I saw the hole in that radiator.
Yeah, because I never had any kind of coolant in my garage or any drifting of any
So
sort.
it had to have happened recently.
Yeah, oh yeah, it must have happened like yesterday.
Right, that's possible.
Because that's when it must have happened right when I noticed it.
Well, they've been dropping salt and cinders and stuff like that on the roads. It's, you know, but it's a tiny hole.
Yeah,
and,
it's very tiny, man. And as you guys can see here, the mesh part of the grill, there's a lot of stuff that can come through here.
Sure.
And as you guys can see as well, the hole is like this big. So it's just a tiny little rock that must have come at God knows what speed and just pierced the pump within the actual radiator. And that's where it's leaking. So yeah, we're gonna order a new radiator, get it installed ASAP so I can drive the car, but not in this fucking salt here. You guys can see the car looks absolutely horrible. Look at the wheels and all the grime and dirt here. It wasn't like this yesterday when I was driving. That's kind of why I was driving the car, because it was raining, and I figured it was raining so much, so most of the salt's going to be off the road.
Well, the good news is,
but today,
this service comes with a complimentary car wash. So it'll be clean when you get it back.
Right, but I've told them many times, you don't know this, I don't want the car washed, because I don't want like a bunch of, you know, swirl marks and stuff like that. So
you do it yourself.
Yeah, I do touchless car washes pretty much. That's the only thing, and I'm very careful when I dry them off and all that. So you guys can spray the car off, but don't wash it. So there we have it. We at least know the issue of the AMG. I'm back here in the Loaner E-Class on my way home. So they're gonna overnight a new radiator for my car. Apparently there's some snowstorm in Jersey where they ship them from. So they don't know if it's gonna be arriving tomorrow or Friday, but pretty soon the car will be fixed again. I'm just glad that we know the issue. I was actually reading on the forums quite a bit, and there seems to be several other C63 AMG owners who have had the same issue with the transmission temperature, that is. Whether it is the radiator like on mine or a faulty transmission coolant pump. Apparently the transmission coolant pumps can be kind of crappy quality on these AMGs, so several people have had issues with those. But with me, it was plain and simple, just a, I guess, rock chip or something. A new radiator, by the way, cost $1,300, so now you know that as well. And also, like I was telling the service technician, I mean, obviously I did not see any coolant leaking, you know, in my garage or anything like that. It was mainly when they did that pressure test, that not seeping, squirting out of that coolant pump. But if you are an AMG owner yourself and you've had sort of the similar issue as I'm having, let me know down in the comments. But that's gonna be that for this video. I'll catch you guys when we go and pick it up again. Bye-bye.